Artmore, hi Richard. How are you, man? I am so tired. Tired of all this bullshit. I'm drinking tea. It's actually hot tea, slightly cooled by whatever shards of weird ice I found in my refrigerator, this freezer this morning, but or this evening, or whatever this is at the moment. Zaddy of Zolzoots. Hello, Richard Leland. Fabio McLocious hair. Oh, old computer. Come on. Old. I am old, but I am also old. Why do you keep mentioning how old you are? Because it's in my contract that I must remind the audience that I am old every 15 minutes. Seems to be a weird contract. Yes, people like to talk about the fact that I am indeed old. Would you rather have 10 finger sized toes or 10 toe sized fingers? Well, if you have toe sized fingers, it's hard for you to do things like type. So, finger sized toes would definitely be the way to go. Because having big feet, you're now a conversation piece. But having tiny fingers, you're just, you're screwed. So, guys, my the great one. That's true. Yes, it is. It's a logical deduction. So, yeah, my second job is not wanting to release me to work hours for my first job, even though I told them that if they didn't, I would quit. Nimbus, that's not where you poop. Stop. Stop. I put a box there to stop her from pooping right there because she keeps pooping right there, and that's not where. I put a litter box. She just doesn't want to use it. Ugh. Gesture harp. God down. How does one acquire that build? Well, you get really, really strong, and then you get hit by a car.
My name is Detective Christopher Raven. I'm proud to introduce Mercy, a judicial system powered by artificial intelligence.
He thought he created the perfect system until it turned on him.
You're charged with the murder of your wife. If you are innocent, prove it, or you will be executed.
I need to find out who killed
Okay.
my wife.
You have access to...
Sound off, bad computer. And it turns back on again. Oh. Jonathan Ramirez, hi. Gesture Harp. Oh, shoot. Did you get your blood transfused from an elephant seal? Why? Did a man with his blood transfused from an elephant seal bang your mom? Because, I mean, pot of greed. Shut up. This party does not need a pooper, so you weren't invited. Zeddy Zoots, which type of minerals do you feel are the best to eat plain? That is a weird question. I've never considered that. Although my neighbors are certainly being loud at this time of day, but yeah. They've never exactly been nice people. Work screen. Jester Hart, bro said all of the above. Lemo. You're a lamo, all right. Sandy Zoots, I'd like to have some magnesium to nibble on. I believe magnesium is a necessary trace element in certain beer. I think lagers, if I'm not mistaken. So, assuming you don't have any reason you can't have a beer, just have a lager. What is going on here? Dang thing is signed into the wrong account, which is weird because appears to be working properly for the other account. But that could have something to do with how utterly old and slow this computer is. And it might just appear that it's working when it's not. So, guys, I just got a request. Zaddy Zoots, interesting beer fact. Gesture Harp, bro, have a gravitational field. Everyone has a gravitational field, dumbass. Are you made of matter? Then you have a gravitational field. You mean a significant gravitational field. I tell you this is the thing. Is like, see, I'm a nerd. Zaddy Zoots, everyone matters. Everyone's made of matter, yes. Everyone has atomic bonds. Everyone has mass. Technically speaking, even an AI construct has to be made out of electrons, and those electrons have a mass. Zaddy Zoots, unless you're made of antimatter. Antimatter and broken dreams. Antimatter has mass. It's just the opposite form of matter. So no, antimatter would have mass. My shadow is the only one that walks beside me. Two people in the chat today. Why am I even bothering? Okay, guys, just so you know, if it doesn't pick up, I'm going to drop it at 7 o'clock as opposed to just after 7 o'clock. Where are your viewers? I don't do as many. I don't do as many live streams as I used to, and possibly that could be just people aren't as used to being here and looking for me, so maybe they're watching something else. I don't know, dude. What I do know is I've got things to get done, and I try to get them done, and I fail. But you know, it's like I haven't had a day off since November now. Mid-November, I think. And it's not like it's wearing on me so much as it's the 8-hour turnarounds that are wearing on me. You know, they're hard. But you know, the company's like, well, no, you know, your schedule is your schedule. Like, you don't understand. I have a better paying job. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up good pay for bad pay, even if it means my overall paycheck is a lot less. It does mean a lot less headaches because, ironically, it's my crappy job that's all the headaches. You know, the good job is like, you know, they're not really worried. The bad job, they're going, oh hell, we're gonna be being on you. So any of all dudes, you had a solid clientele for a stretch, but there was a time you rap battle everyone. Yeah. Mike. Hi. What's up, Mike? Yeah. Scorf. Hey, man. What's going on, Scorf? Sounds like something a Smurf does at a buffet, but I mean, yeah. Ref bread. Yeah, it's like I saw this 7 foot tall cosplayer, and she's all, asking this guy who's 6'4", would you date a girl taller than you? And he's like, no. And I go, what the F is wrong with you, dude? If you're dating a girl who's taller than you, you just paint yourself blue and ask her to call you Papa Smurf, like normal people. Scurf, it's part of my last name, dude. Okay, but does it not sound like something a Smurf would do at a buffet? I mean, my last name is Neal. Sounds like something you do before a king. There are a lot worse ways I could have put that. And there was one guy what was it? Gag Army, bros built like Peter. Scurf, you do a lot of that, huh? Scurf? No. No, I haven't been to a buffet in like 20 years. Last time I went to a buffet was in Washington State. I was there visiting someone who was in the Army. Scurf, I mean Neil. No, I don't do that often either. Neil is without the K. Although the interesting thing about the name Neil is that the Neal family was known for its loyalty. So it actually does kind of make sense. Mike, only when he's doing your mom, doggy Scurf. Okay, so Mike has a point. Zadie Valzoots, would you trade Washington State for Greenland? No. I mean, you might be able to make that argument to me, but just offhand, I'm not trading Washington State for Greenland. Zadie Valzoots, would you trade Washington State for Scurf? Thank God someone's got to get her less stressed so he can go for it. I repeat myself when under stress. I repeat myself when under stress. If you want to dance, you do the jitterbug. Volt. Yo, Happy New Year, Richard. You got any goals this year? Clean my house up just. I'd also like to get another one of my YouTube channels monetized. Scurf, tell us a story from your childhood. What do you mean, tell a story from my childhood? I didn't have one. Well, okay. Story for you. Guy used to live across the street from me. His name, I will not say, but I called him Falstaff in my writings. Falstaff, of course, was a silly fat wanker. But we were kids together, and we used to bike ride. So one time, we rode our bikes to this hill, and we locked our bikes together with this U-lock I had, and he took the key and put it in his pocket. And then, There is no story for my 38th birthday, Zaddy. I couldn't tell you what I did there. Anyway, so we climb this hill and we go down the hill, and at the end, he goes, "Hey, I don't have the key." I'm like, "What? Turn out your pockets." He says, "No. Turn out your pocket." No. And he just wouldn't turn out his pockets. So we wound up having to drag our bikes home, which ruined both of them, or at least ruined the tires on both of them. I never rode that bike again because my father wouldn't take me to the store to get another one, and he wouldn't replace the tire. But so after that, my father's like, "Well, we got to find the key." So we go back to the hill, and he's making me look for. I'm telling him anything to make him leave because there's no effing way. Because he's like, if somebody finds that key, they could steal your bike. It's like, Dad, how would anybody look at that key and know it's from my bike and then know where my bike was? That's ridiculous. But he wouldn't give it up. And finally, on the way home, he says, one way you find out somebody's lying is you keep asking them the same question over and over again to see if they give you the same answer. It's like, yes, I was lying, and I admit that, okay? But here's the thing. Falstaff's mother then called and said that she found the key in his pants. So, on the one hand, I lied to my father about what happened to the key in order to get to go home. And on the other hand, we would have never found that key anyway. Scurf, was your dad Forrest Gump? That's just dumb. Yeah, my old man thought he was quite the mind. He became so insufferable at some point that I just had to stop talking to him. That was the thing about my father, is he was very hard to deal with. One of the aspects of narcissism is when we're offended by the normal actions of people. The normal, my old man complained that when I got a driver's license, I wanted a car. I mean, my brother and sister had gotten cars, but, he came up with this ridiculous idea that I would buy him a car. Is he dead? Yes, Scurf, my father is dead. My father died in the pandemic, or slightly before the pandemic. Heart attack. Mike, did he leave you with a piece of advice that helped you in life? My dad? No. My father was not the kind of person you listen to. Scurf, sorry, man, that's rough. No, it's not. I hadn't spoken to my father for years before his death. He died. I mean, look, guys. The night my father died, okay, I got a text from my sister. She said, Dad had a heart attack. And my response was, I was told to leave and never come back. And nothing's going to change that, Amber. And she goes, well, I just wanted you to know he died. And I'm sitting there thinking, you just told me my father died in a text message. That's cold. I mean, that's just cold. I mean, she could have at least had my brother do it. But, Anyway. So I go into work that night. I don't take a moment off because my father died. I don't have the opportunity to mourn because I have nothing to mourn. He was long dead to me. And this owl, a burrowing owl, lands on a pole next to me at my work. I mean, it's total darkness. And here is this pole and you can't hear an owl fly. You just hear it land. And I look over at this owl, and I think, I'm going to imagine that owl is my father's spirit coming to make peace. I'm not going to believe it, but I'm going to imagine it. My father and I did not get along. He would never own up to the pain he caused me, and that's the only thing he really ever could have done that would have eased the pain he caused me. Mike, my dad died in 2024. Sorry to hear that, bro. He came to me a couple weeks ago and said he got up and got out. I don't know exactly what he meant. Okay, so Mike, are you saying that like your father's ghost or came to you in a dream a couple of weeks ago and told you to get up and get out and go out because it could be your subconscious mind telling you to have more fun? Scurf, sounds like that strained relationship was tough for you, man. Well, let me put it to you this way. My father gave my brother money for college until he stopped going. My brother just decided it one day that he wasn't going to go to college. BM, hello, Neil. So he stopped going. Now, we did get my brother a car. He totaled it, and we never got him another car. And the bottom line is, I don't think his nervous system supports driving. So he's never going to be very mobile. Say now, my sister got $20,000 for college. I calculated it. Plus, after college, my father gave her the down payment on a new car. My father gave me $800 for college, and then he gave me his old car under protest, which was really in bad shape. It was all beat up. It was practically new. I mean, no, it was about 10 years old. It was a 97, and this was 2005. So it wasn't in terrible shape, but my father didn't take good care of it. So, and the fender was smashed. Like cops were pulling me over, thinking I'd been in an accident, and things like that. It was a real bad situation. And then he expected gratitude for this car. Moreover, he expected me to get rid of my older car, which was not running well, but looked decent. Yetimersal, he sound like a Jew, bro. Sorry you had to deal with that. My father was definitely not Jewish. My mother was Jewish. Can one of my mods remove 3938? He's being a dick. Anyway, so like I say, he gave me this old piece of shit car. And then my sister turned around and said, I've got this wonderful fucking idea. Let's make this Amber's car that Richard pays for. Amber is going to drive it to Vegas and back, bring it back with an empty tank, and expect Richard to fill it up for her. So when she found out that wasn't going to happen, she told my father, Richard needs to get rid of the old car. And we fought over it, and we fought over it, and we fought. And my old man was like, I will give you $2,000 if you get rid of your old car. And the answer, of course, was no, you need to give me money for college. $2,000 won't pay for college. So eventually, I stopped paying for repairs for my father's old car, and the tires went out. And I got into a fist fight with my brother-in-law because I wouldn't pay for these tires on a car that didn't belong to me. My name was never on the title of the car. So my father he does pay for the tires, but then he turns around and gives my sister $60,000. All right. So in the middle of this, I tell, my cousin, why don't we just sell my house, which was in the name of all three people? I get my money, I get to go to college, and you guys can be done with me. And she said, why don't you just leave and never expect to be paid for your part of the house? I go, why would I do that? And she says, well, your father gave you that car. So I returned the car. My father called me a couple months later, says, do you want the car or not? And I was like, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told you when you first offered me that car. Sell it and give me half. He said the car was worth $7,000. So he turned around and sold the car for $400 and gave me $200. I returned the $200. That was the last straw with me and my father. He completely screwed me over when he died. Managed to give his pension to my stepmother's kids. I got a total of $5,000. I should have easily gotten $250,000. But, that's where we are today. And now what's happening is that my sister is trying to get me to sell the house I live in. And it's like, there's an internet troll that is because I make videos about cleaning my house. And the internet troll is like, why don't you just throw everything out? Why don't you get your house clean? It's like, well, for one thing, if I don't make money, I can't fight my sister. I could wind up cleaning this house just so that she'll get more money when it's sold. Because she's told me I'm not going to get a goddamn dime. Was he still married to your stepmother when he died? No, he was not married to my stepmother when he died. And he had signed a prenuptial agreement. But the thing is, VM, my father was on drugs, okay? It was an over-the-counter drug, but it made him stupid. Over-the-counter mood enhancer drug called Sammy is what I understand. Okay, so yeah, I could fight in court the fact that I did not get my father's pension. But the thing is that, one, I would be fighting for my three siblings to split it. Two, I don't think there's much of a pension left. And three, it's in the documents that if I don't win the case, I pay for their legal fees. So my lawyer has said, it's just, you probably won't get any money out of it. Because even if you did sue for the pension, you could get what's left of the pension. But, it's not an open and shut case. And the person who's getting the money from the pension can just declare bankruptcy for any damages that accrued from her receiving the money. So no, you're never going to get your money out of it. Scurf, you sound like there's still an emotional pain from all this money. Really divides people. Scurf, this man did his absolute best to ruin my life. And the reason he did that is because he wanted me to spend the rest of my life taking care of my brother who's mentally ill. When my father died, my sister had my brother move out. So all this time, my sister was playing him, going, no, Richard needs to take care of Paul. Richard needs to take care of Paul. When in reality, she was just trying to hog all the resources for herself. VM, how did your dad squander away a pension fund? He didn't squander it away. He gave it to my stepmother. VM, what did your siblings get when your father died? Nothing. My sister took everything my father had while he was alive. Transferred everything into his name, into her name. I mean, like I say, guys, what I need to do is start a lawsuit. And I need to basically say that my brother and sister were paid for their part of my house. My sister got $80,000 in 2 SUVs, although she got way more than that. And my brother got $100,000. Okay, cash. These were in accounts in my father's name so that, or joint accounts, so that they wouldn't have to pay taxes on them. But when this money changed hands, my house was worth well under $300,000. So, that's my claim to the house. Scurf, at least your dad gave you a chance at life. There's worth something, and your life is valuable. Scurf, for my entire life, I had this thing about vomit. Every time my father and mother broke up when I was 3, every time I saw my father, I would vomit. And everyone said, "Oh, Richard's throwing up his feelings." Well, when I went into high school, every morning I would vomit. And when I finally discussed this with my doctor, they said, "What you're describing is a bleeding ulcer. You vomited because when you went out with your father, he'd give you a big pile of candy, and that would stretch your stomach and aggravate the ulcer. And the reason you always felt terrible is because your body was starving for blood." Eventually I had an eye infection. And the eye infection is most likely the antibiotics from that probably cleared up the ulcer, because ulcers are caused by bacteria or by an infection. But my life has been pretty unpleasant because of that. But guys, something to understand is everybody's life kind of sucks right now. Most people are having a hard time of it. So I'm not unique. The other day, I was talking to a truck driver, and I said, the news is using 2 names for what's happening now. One is the cost of living crisis, and the other is the affordability crisis. And it just made him so happy to know that his problems were not just his, but the entire world's. So yeah, I mean, we all have problems. It's like that song goes, "I know you got problems, you're not the only one. When your sugar left you on the run." Oh. Block Top, are you mostly happy? No. Scurf, but you get to wake up and leave every day, or live every day. That's something to be thankful for. No. Am I truly alive? I mean, I live every day with a gun to my head, wondering if one day I'm going to wind up homeless. Just as a note, guys, I mean, I don't think that I'd be able to keep doing YouTube if I wind up homeless. So after this live stream, I would appreciate if you'd watch a video and comment on that video. VM, Neal, how do you step siblings get inheritance from your father? Your father willingly added them in his will, or was he manipulated? Was your sister close with the siblings. Oh, okay. So apparently, while my father was on drugs, my stepmother had him sign a document that said, whichever one of them dies first loses the pension. Okay. My father, after divorcing my stepmother, then dies. My stepmother then gets the pension. Okay. When my stepmother dies, her children get the pension. Okay. My sister took over power of attorney from my father, but never checked on this. So, I mean, on the one hand, if it wasn't really my father's intention to do this, I may have some kind of a way of suing my sister for it. And from what I understand, my sister now owns multiple houses, which she got through inheritance. But it's just one of those things, guys. I mean, I'm finding all this stuff out years after the fact. I've got effing legal bills to worry about. Where's my fan while we're at it? Oh, I'm starting to get like hay fever or something. I'm getting a little stuffed up. Block Top, do you talk to your sister at all now? No, not really. We don't get on. Scurf, some people die of miserable disease and all kinds of awful things. My own brother died at 28 from the disease of addiction. He should really look at the bright side and take action to improve. Scurf, I wrote a letter today. I haven't mailed it yet. But I wrote a letter today to the glorious governor of the state of California, suggesting that to resolve the homelessness problem, we go to California City, which has empty lots and dirt streets, and build a bunch of solar shades that they can park their motorhomes under, which are broken, and tow their motorhomes out to them. And then the homeless can live under a solar farm. This would provide them with power and get them out of Los Angeles, where their pension or their welfare checks don't adequately contribute to the economy. Okay, so today, not only did I try to make my own life better, I tried to make the world a better place. I made a legitimate attempt to take a strike at homelessness itself. So, yeah, I'm doing this YouTube stream. Okay, I could be sleeping. I have to be at work at 9 o'clock. I got out of work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm going to have to be there at 9 o'clock at night. All right. So I'm working 2 jobs to make my life better. I'm doing YouTube trying to make money to make my life better. And, yeah, I do something every day. It's not easy. That's life. Scurf. Well, what's great, but about you, what can you do to make you happier? Like I say, bro, I mean, between me and happiness lies about a $200,000 remodel of my home. Before the pandemic, it was $100,000. I mean, look, my life is going to be hard. Why does the internet have so many weirdos? Don't they have some better place to be? Mike, I search for peace, not happiness. Well, that's easy for you to say. Like, I mean, not a lot of trouble coming your way. I don't mind the sons of time, the images it shows. 'Cause I can taste you on my lips and smell you in my clothes. Cinnamon and sugary and softly spoken lies. Mike, so you gotta be at work in 2 hours? Yeah, just about. Dude, it's like I say, I actually tendered my resignation at the job I'm going to be at 9 o'clock. So if we don't work out the issue, which it doesn't look like we're going to, um, I will definitely have a lot more time for live streaming. All right. But the issue there being is I can't work for them on Mondays and Fridays anymore, which will take me from a 5-day work week to a 3-day work week. And I've actually worked out that, yeah, there's still 40 hours that they have open that I can work. It's just that's, 40 hours um, with a lot of overtime. And it's like, Tuesday I would come in at 9 o'clock instead of Monday. And then I could work till 9 a.m. and be back at 5 p.m. and then work until 5 a.m. the next day. And they have those hours available. But I mean, if they hire another person, maybe that person takes those hours. I don't know. But as badly as they seem to need people, I mean, which is just, this is the thing. I sent HR a thing. I said, look, I got another, or I'm no longer able to work Mondays and Fridays as of the 8th. If that's not accepted, if you can't accommodate that, I will have my uniforms ready on the 8th. We're done. Mike, is the weather good for working tonight? No, probably not. Let's see. I mean, we may have hit the last of the rain. No. Oh, let's see. Precipitation. Yes, according to this, it will rain. It will rain almost all night. Okay, should be a little on the light side. Should be drizzling when I'm on my way home from work. So yeah, I mean, not good weather. It should get worse on Tuesday and be really bad while I'm at work. And then be good on Wednesday. Yeah. Ugh. Part stew is a human fart. Well, Scurf, Richard, respectfully, man, you sound quite miserable. I wish you the best, man, but it doesn't sound like you're too eager to help yourself more. I believe in you, man. You can be happy. Yes, I can be happy, but I mean, I have big problems and I need to resolve them. And I've had these big problems all my life. So again, dude, you know, I'm not going to be happy unless I can resolve these problems. It's just one of those things. It's like, like there's the problem. Okay, yeah, but I mean, we was like, no, I need to deal with this. All of my effort has to go into solving this problem. It's why I never got married, why I never had children, because my effort goes into addressing this huge problem that's not going away. And it's like when I went to college, people were like, "Well, no, you're not going to make money at this." It's like, so why am I learning it? You need to not sabotage me. You know, and my friends. I actually at one point had a bunch of friends that decided I would spend the rest of my life taking care of my brothers. So I tried to better my situation, and they sabotage me. It's like why are people like that? And in psychology, we have a saying: the abusers find the abused. It's one of those things. I work with crappy people, and those crappy people are going to be crappier to me. Decker, can you give me a shout out? What do you do, Decker? Looks like you have a football icon. But when I hear the name Decker, I think of Blade Runner. Decker, I go to school. Go to school for what? Artmore, you're a good man, Rich. Am I? I try to be. This is one of those basic points of human nature. You are not good by definition. You have to work to be good. Hidden edits. If your moderator Mary in the chat, I want to tell her that you thank you for helping my headache go away. I don't think she is. I haven't heard from her much. Mary. Yeah, 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 yeah. Caw, Rich. What the? These comments are not coming up on my computer. Rich, I just toilet took you. What the? Artmore, man, you don't donate money to kids. You inspire me to do so as well very soon. You're awesome. Decker said I. Craw. Okay, are you okay, fruitcake? Stop talking to yourself, Caw. Parth Stew. Yo, I just took you on the toilet, Rich. Okay, can one of my moderators remove that turd? Mike, so are we born neutral and become good or bad? I would have to argue that we're born bad. A human being left to their own devices will be amoral. Okay. You could say that it's easier to mold a child into goodness, but a child will grow up bad for the most part if left to their own devices. Human beings are horrible monsters. Hidden edits. Rich, I am a week sober from no za. Caw. Yeah, no turds in chat. Thank you, Rich. Stay fruity. Hidden edits, but we are animals, Rich. It's survival of the fittest. Yeah, dude, and animals eat each other's young. Okay? Survival of the fittest is not a way to run a society. Okay? We have police officers because survival of the fittest is not the way to go. If a man can physically take my wallet, does that mean they should have the right to take my wallet? No, it doesn't. Hidden edit, but in the animal world, good or bad doesn't matter. Yeah, but it matters in society. Mike, how would somebody become good by having good person leading them and teachings? Well, a good person has a strong sense of empathy. And they also have to have an understanding of the overall impact of what they do. I mean, it's like a pimp, for example, does not care for his employees. He just tries to make money off them. In fact, I know a case where a woman was escaped from her pimp and he came back and he murdered her. And it's like, why would you do that? She can't work for you if she's dead. And the fact that she escaped from you means she's not going to work for you. So you just committed a crime for the sake of committing a crime. That's true evil. That's as evil can be, to hurt someone for no other reason than the desire to hurt them. Can't get anything out of it. You're not going to stop this person from hurting you or prevent you or them from hurting anyone else. Hidden edits. Animals don't have wallets, Rich. Yeah. Okay. But again, we human beings, despite being animals, are supposed to be better. We know that we're naked. Animals don't. Okay. No animal is going to say, oh, my dick's hanging out. Let me put that away. That's a exclusively human thing. There are cases of apes putting things in their rectum for fashion, but for the moment here, we are the only creatures that are like God in our ability to understand nakedness. So again, you can train animals to be good. And I mean, parrots actually, ironically, we have done studies that appear to show that parrots are at least existentialistic and basically good towards other parrots. I don't know if they'd be basically good towards other animals, but at least they're basically good towards parrots. Human beings ain't like that. Hidden edits. Well, yeah, we are the best, and it's in our human nature to fight or flight. It's not good or bad. It's a survival thing. You know, again, my employer is almost certainly skimming money. Okay? He has the power to do that. It will eventually cause him some trouble. Because, he's stealing. Survival of the fittest. Yeah.
But I mean, he may lose me as an employee because of it. Hidden. Adam and Eve didn't have an employer, though. Yeah, but this is a separate situation. I mean, not all situations will apply to every situation. But again, not all human beings are functional thinkers, okay? It's like this is a very abstract concept and will be hard for you to understand. But it's like I worked in a place where everybody was going home early, okay? And they could get away with it. The first problem was they didn't understand the conditions under which they could get to go home early and get paid for it. There were such conditions where it's like, you go home, we keep paying you, we don't care. Okay? And the second one is that they kept going home earlier and earlier and earlier until eventually the client turned around and said, hey, I'm not paying for nothing. Functional thinkers would realize if I go too far, there will be problems. Those people didn't. They're basically evil, but more stupid. Hidden edits. The first problem is that it was allowed to happen. Do you understand that? No, that's not the first problem. Okay. There was a certain amount of work that needed to get done. And if they went home after that work was done, no one would care. Okay. And the average night, that wasn't a big issue. But when it was a big issue, they didn't have the sense to be like, let's wait until we see if there's work. They just started going, well, let's just keep doing more and more and more and not listening. This meant that I had to do their work for them. And as I wasn't as fast as 6 people, they got in trouble after they got rid of me. Hidden edits. Everything in life is a choice. Life has a cause and effect rule. Yes, but there is a separation between cause and effect. And what does that have to do with good and evil? Anyway, guys, I have to get ready for work. So I'm going to have to let you all go. I mean, I've been doing this for an hour and I'm not getting paid. So I'm going to go. I'm Richard.